Live from inside Porsche, Colorado Springs, it's the First Dips podcast with our hosts, John Deisty and Justin Underwood. Buckle up and let's go for a ride.
Making your way in the world today takes everything you've got. Taking a break from all your worries sure would help a lot. Wouldn't you like to get away? All those nights when you've got no lights, the check is in the mail.
Whew.
Yeah, buddy.
Did we make it? Are we on? Oh, look, the star just burst out there. Oh, my God.
Because we're in the presence of
We
stardom.
are. And we're 4 minutes late, so thanks to
Right.
those of you that
Yeah.
that are joining us live. I spilled Sprite all over my shirt because I'm a hack and an amateur.
Hey.
But we're back. It's live on tape. It's the First Dips podcast. It's Friday night.
From inside Porsche, Colorado Springs Pre-Owned and Classic Center. We have a
Yeah.
special guest tonight.
I know, the world traveler.
That's right. He made it all the way here from California.
Again.
Yes, welcome back, Dan.
Thank you.
What should we
Yeah.
call him? Mr. Neon? Mr. Colors?
It could be.
Mr. Rainbow. Mr. Rainbow. That might be good. I don't know. Because you like colorful cars.
Captain Skittle.
There you go. Captain Skittle. All right, Captain Skittle. It's a rank. I don't even know where to start.
Me neither.
Does anyone have anything to talk about, or can we call this a quick one?
A business?
A business is probably a good idea.
We could get some business out of the way.
Yeah, do that.
Did we have any cars come in?
Couldn't tell you.
I don't know. I guess today was a little bit of a whirlwind for me.
Yeah.
This morning got off, super crazy. We had a new client come in for you, John, and picked up a Macan.
Yep.
Carmine Red Macan. That was pretty awesome. That was super nice. Marv.
Marv. Yep.
Thanks for Marv for coming in. And thank you so much, Ron, for being such a great friend and client of the store, for recommending Marv come in.
They're both Vietnam vets.
Yeah. And then Ron is a dentist, and Marv was a lab tech that worked with him for over 40 years.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
Super
Yeah.
crazy.
I just talking to him about the traveling back over there and stuff like that, and how beautiful the Vietnamese people were, and how the Viet Cong just weren't because they didn't like us.
Yeah, right.
But it was interesting. We talked a little bit about drugs and how so they graduated.
We're all high as crap due to this.
Yeah, exactly. So they both graduated high school in the 60s. And they were joking with me about how they got into a bunch of trouble as kids. And I'm trying to pull all the paperwork together. And so we just talk about it. And it's like, oh, what kind of trouble? And they look at each other and like, well, basically alcohol. And so I'm like, oh, well, I tell them my story about being straight-laced in high school and how, I was a good kid and I didn't really drink or do drugs or anything like that until I got to college, and the rest of my life happened. But they were talking about how some of their friends were over there in Vietnam and were doing some of the drugs, and you didn't know what it was. It looked like weed. But what did they put on it?
Right.
Was it opium laced or acid laced or what?
Right.
And he said, he watched some of his buddies completely lose their minds, like permanently,
Yeah.
on this stuff. And he's
Right.
like, that's when I decided drugs weren't for me. I was like, all right, well,
Yeah.
I've never smoked a cigarette.
Good
So,
call.
There it is.
Right.
We don't condone Doug. Jesus Christ. Somebody
the
else
fuel.
start talking.
It's
I know.
It's gotta be the fuel.
We should probably open a door. But yeah, that was entertaining for someone, I hope.
Yeah. We don't condone drug use.
That's what I was
Right.
exemplifying.
Yeah. No, super cool to meet.
Yeah.
To know Ron and to meet Marv today.
Yep. Still haven't talked about any cars that came in.
No.
How about, we already talked about the Sport Classic.
Yeah.
We briefly talked about that
Briefly,
last week.
yeah, Sport Classic is available. It's actually getting a windshield put in it. And not because it broke, but because during the CPO process, the technician noticed that the rear view mirror looked kind of funny. And the mount that's part of the glass, if you will, that comes on the glass from the factory, a piece of it I don't just whatever from heat or who knows, just kind of worked loose. And so anyway, now we got to replace a windshield because the rear view mirror was about to fall off. But
Well,
yeah, anyway, so that's why the car itself is actually listed online, but there's no pictures yet.
do you think if
because
we close the door, we'll get less high?
maybe
Can we do that?
Yeah, let's try. So yeah, the Sport Classic. Some stuff is coming available. The big orange Jeep, right? I think that we mentioned very briefly. That's available. It's got brand new skins on it, so that's a super cool car.
What are skins?
Tires.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
It sounded way more
in
exciting.
Jeep world, I thought that might be something.
I don't. Maybe it is in Jeep World. Maybe
yeah.
I just offended everybody. I don't know.
Well, there you go.
But yeah, no, we have lots of inventory, and it seems like it's been pretty hot. I mean, things have been moving at a pretty good pace.
I've
considering
felt
the
very
crazy
busy.
cold weather. Yeah,
And maybe that's because if it's below 30 degrees, I don't do anything all day. But no, I'm kidding. No, it's seriously, it's been kind of a whirlwind. So
Yeah.
for clients, if it took me too long to get back to you, I'm very sorry. But I've been not doing anything when it's 30.
yeah. And then going over our list, like I think I saw you guys kind of looking over these sold cars that are sitting here that need to be shipped out, and kind of case in point, over 60% of the cars that we're selling are going out of state.
Wow.
So crazy. And when you see it all in one spreadsheet, on a piece of paper for the whole sales team to see what's happening, unbelievable. Just unbelievable how much stuff is going, I mean, all over. All Massachusetts, right? Got a car headed up there and a
My
trade
peoples. coming
coming back. LA. I mean, we're coast to coast. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But it's kind of, it's fun to a degree to see that consistently, that's our normal routine. And then Dan here, he, rather than ships cars, he just goes and picks them up and drives them back.
Yeah. And that's part of, I think, why we wanted to have him here.
Yeah.
Like, Dan had a great week last week.
Yes.
I think. If I had that week, I'd be happy.
It was a pretty good week.
Yeah.
Like, can't complain.
Yeah.
Can't complain.
So we sent Dan on a mission to drop off a copy of Lewis's. I can't talk. This gasoline is just trouble. To drop off a copy of Lewis's Shift Colorado magazine article to Matt Farah because Dan was going to pick up his new watch and got to hang out and hobnob with all of the people we listen to on a daily basis. So. And then it got better from there. So I think we'll wait on that side of the story.
Right.
But the watch is super cool.
The watch is really cool.
I think Justin's more of a watch guy than I think either you or me. But I think Matt did a great job on it. The color is just impeccable.
The color's great.
It's got texture to it. The numbers are all cut out and laid
Right.
in there. And I don't know, there's probably like watchwords to use about
I'm
these
sure
things.
there is.
Like I like the hands; those are very fun. And
they look like they glow really bright.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. It looks like a Lumineers concert. Is that what I'm supposed to say?
Sure, yeah.
I think.
But
I don't know.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah.
I don't know do you know what kind of movement they're using in the watch?
I looked it up earlier. The only thing I did look up, though, is it is 68 hours.
Oh, reserve.
Reserve.
That's a long reserve, man. That's quite a while. And that's by Dan saying the reserve. It's an automatic, right? So if you got to wind it, right? If you stop wearing it, you got to wind it. But you're right, John. The color of it is amazing.
Yeah.
The bezel that they do,
Yeah.
but the wristband, the bracelet, and Dan had pointed out that it comes with another wristband as well, kind of a cloth version,
you
which is
go.
pretty sweet. They implement it's 3 different roads mapped together on the back of the case.
Yeah. On the back of it, it is basically the bottom section of it. There's essentially a triangle that exists out there. So if you drive on Angeles Crest, generally speaking, runs east-west. And then there's Angeles Forest Highway, which kind of from off of Angeles Crest actually runs north-south, but more of like an angled direction of north.
It's the
northeast.
gasoline.
Yeah, it is the gasoline. Northeast, southwest. And then there's another road called Upper Big Tahunga, also known as 9 Mile. And that one runs more of a southwest or southeast, northwest type direction. So it basically creates this big triangle of mountains in the middle of these roads. And he has that on the back of the on the back of the watch.
Right.
And given that I've driven all those roads and I like all those roads, to me that was kind of an attractive piece of it. So.
Yeah, but no, seriously, I mean, the craftsmanship looked great. the clasp. I mean, everything about it. It's got a great weight to it. It's super cool. And then you had a second one as well, and I am a sucker for the second one's color.
Yeah, the second one is orange.
Mm-hmm.
There's actually still a few available, but they're. But yeah, I personally, he did a run of 100 of these ones, 200 of the orange ones, and they're all numbered and all that.
Yeah.
So it's cool. It's just a
Part of
fun
the
little-
club now.
Yeah, fun little
Now
tidbit.
3 clubs.
You said ironic that this green one and the orange one are the same number.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
I deliberately requested. that.
Okay.
So,
Right. That's pretty awesome. Yeah.
but yeah, I bought the orange one for my dad.
Yeah. Super special.
My dad is not. He was kind of a watch guy, but crazy kind of aside with that. He actually had a gold Newman Daytona, which for those who are unaware is probably $1 million watch now. And he had this from like the late 70s through the 80s, and he had this watch for quite a while. His father had given it to him, and he has all kinds of stories with it. And he wasn't necessarily the most careful with it at the time because he's not necessarily thinking about what the actual value was until later on when he started realizing what the value was, and then he stopped wearing it. And it's like, well, why do I have this thing? And then various watch dealers reached out because apparently they figured out that he had one. So they start calling him randomly and start offering him money over time. And he's like, well, whatever. And at the time, he was not necessarily in the best financial circumstance and finally ended up getting an offer on the watch, which was like 17 grand or something like that, around, late 80s, early 90s. And so he sold the watch, and that flipped his financial position, let him buy a house, all that good stuff, down payment, all that good stuff. So it was a great thing, but it does kill him a little bit. And it's like, oh yeah, that's $1 million thing that you had in your possession now.
Just crazy. The value of some of that stuff is just wild.
Right.
Oh, it absolutely is. So I figured since I was doing this, it would be kind of cool to just get him something to kind of lure in. Except the problem I ran into is that Saturday was kind of a busy day because Saturday was the day that I ended up picking these up.
Okay.
And
They had the release party, right?
yeah, the Saturday was the release party in the evening. And the day before, I'd gone to Good Vibes Breakfast Club.
Right.
And went up and I took the Macan up, which also hilarious hooning that thing on snow tires. It was 27 degrees when I got up there in the morning, and it was like 54 on the way down.
Wow.
So I could definitely tell the difference in the tires with
Yeah.
the higher temps, but on the way up, amazing.
Right.
And so, saw some cool cars up there, met some cool people, chatted with some folks, met a gentleman who was, I can't remember his name, but he had brought up one of the new Morgan three-wheelers.
Oh, cool.
Which super cool car. And chatting with him a bit, he asked me because I was wearing my Colorado Grand jacket. He was like, "Oh, have you been on the Grand?" And I was like, "No, but I know a guy." And he's like, "Oh, I actually went on that." And he told me his name, which magazine he works for, but he's an automotive journalist, and he had actually gone on the Grand and written about it. And Tom had actually hooked him up. They had someone cancel out, so he was just going to follow along in his Volkswagen van. And sleep in the van and everything, but Tom hooked him up and with a jacket and
Right.
the whole thing.
That's
So-
awesome.
So yeah, it was a kind of a fun little running into someone. So
Yeah.
I went up and did that, and then I met up with my friend of mine, and we hung out. And the next morning, I was like, "Hey, there's a thing over at Auto Kennel. Auto Kennel's a small, like more boutique type dealership that specializes in old Porsches. And it's a neat little place, and they go through quite a few interesting cars. So we were going there the next morning for a little car show thing that they had going on. They do 3 or so a year, and I just happened to be there, so I was like, all right, perfect timing. So we went there, and there was all kinds of great cars there. Ended up chatting with a gentleman named Herb, who has a beautiful Irish green 1966 912
Oh, wow.
that he has owned the entire time.
Wow.
So he and I chatted, exchanged numbers, information, all that. There was also a lovely 918 in a reverse Salzburg livery. So
Oh,
white
that's
with the
pretty
red,
cool. Yeah.
red stripes. A Renault R5 Turbo. There was another 993. It was 993 RS or 964 RS. I don't know. There was an RS.
Yeah.
Really expensive RS.
Right.
All kinds of cool cars. Unfortunately, I couldn't pay attention after a certain point because I got a phone call. And that phone call was, I look at my phone. It's from Albany, New York. Okay, to voicemail you go. And about a minute later, my phone buzzes again. Look it up, voicemail. all right, I'll take a look. And I look at it, and it says, it did the transcription thing. Hi, this is the Saratoga Auto Museum. We have exciting news for you. And I thought, oh, right, I entered a raffle with those guys. I was like, and I had this momentary thought of, did I win the big thing? And I was like, no, there's no way you won the big thing. And so I was like, you probably want a hat. It's fine. Just give him a call back. So I gave him a call back. And it turns out, no, I had in fact won the big thing.
What is the big thing?
The big thing is a 2022 Shark Blue GT4 with PDK and buckets.
Oh my gosh.
The perfect complement to a Python green spider.
Right. Yes. Absolutely.
Totally. So like I've got them. I'm getting the matched pair.
Wow. Yeah. That's amazing. Holy cow. Yeah. I mean, how do you not kind of quasi, like you said, you just blank out. I imagine, right? Kind of feel.
When Dan sent it to me, I thought he was effing with us.
I thought it was a joke.
Yeah, I was like, oh, he just used some of his
Right.
HTML skills to hack it and make it look like he won something. And I asked, and I said, is this real or were you hacking? And he goes, no, it's real. I'm having a good day. and I was like, oh. And so then I still thought he was lying.
Yeah, right.
And so I went to their website. And I found not through his link, his name also on the website. I'm like, man, this guy must be really good. And yeah, so
That's amazing. Well, congratulations.
What a great day that is.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And this is still what, like 1 o'clock?
This was 9:30 in the morning.
Yeah. Yeah.
Saturday.
So I've still got a whole day to go,
Yeah.
and I'm like,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
my buddy and I wandered off. We went and got coffee and it's
Yeah.
just a whole
you
lot
gotta
of
come
wander,
down a little bit off that.
Right.
a whole lot of wandering around going, oh my God, like, what am I going to do with this? I don't know. I don't know. Like,
Now I need more garage space. What are we going to do?
Yeah, right.
I've
Where am I
never-
going to put it?
I quickly offered up.
Yeah,
stall.
that's
Yes.
true.
And I greatly appreciate that. Thank you. It's very thoughtful of you.
Welcome.
I wasn't sure what to do. I'm still not entirely sure. It's still kind of a pinch me type thing. I've never ever met anyone who's won any of these raffles or anything.
Sure.
You know, you go out
Yeah.
and find these things. So thanks to the Saratoga Auto Museum for hooking me up.
Yeah, we've got open sponsorship opportunities on this podcast.
Yeah, right.
You
Yeah,
know.
no,
Well,
absolutely.
Dan will do a bunch of spots for you.
Yeah. Okay, so some questions.
Yes.
How much was the raffle ticket?
The raffle tickets, so basically they had kind of this structured type thing. And so like at your baseline, it would be $2.50 a ticket because it was $25 would get you 10 tickets.
Okay.
And I did this back in April. I don't remember. I think I had actually heard Smoking Tire talk about them at some point when he was talking about some other thing up in New York. Either that or there was some cross-pollination. It got shared from someone on Instagram or whatever. I do not normally click on anything from Instagram for like ads or whatever else because no. But anyway, either way, I ended up at their website and looking at it and going, all right. So I fiddled with it. I was looking at their options, and the top level option of it was $500, get you 500 tickets. They pulled in like $360,000 on this. So even if it was just $1 a piece, which it probably was not $1 a piece, you're still looking at potentially 360,000 tickets or whatever it was. So I bought those, thought no more of it. And largely just because it's for me whenever I do a raffle ticket, because I buy in on 2 or 3 a year just because, and I figure if nothing else, it's something that's going to a good cause or some other thing. And it's like, if I win, cool. If not, whatever.
Yeah, it's a donation with a potential extra upside.
Yep. It's kind of like the whole thing of buying a lottery ticket and just buying a daydream.
Yeah, right.
Like I don't expect to win, but I kind of want to think about what it would be
right.
like for
right.
And that was actually the other overwhelming feeling that morning of like, I've thought about this exact scenario any number of times. Like, what would I do if I won a car or whatever? And the answer is apparently all of my previous thinking about it was all for naught because I went through all of it all over again.
That's awesome. And then, so, I mean, this is still some of the early stages.
Yep.
But so we were talking earlier, and you're going to go out there in mid to late February, mid February.
Yep.
And then you can actually take possession, of the car, I guess, because they're going to do some kind of a promo or a show or.
Yeah, they actually want to do some filming for promotional type stuff around this because they're doing another. It's an annual thing for them. So this one went pretty well for them. They made a bunch of money, and
Yeah.
so and I'm more than happy to promote it because
Yeah. You kind of owe them now.
I kind of
Yeah,
right,
do.
yeah,
Like,
yep.
But so I have to go out there, do some promotional stuff. And it's about 3.5 hours from where I grew up. So I'm actually going to fly home, meet up with my dad, and he and I are going to go out there for possession of the car and stuff.
Okay.
And he's over the moon. He's so excited. And that was the problem I ran into was because I told him about the watch. Unfortunately, during the same phone call that I told him about the car.
Yeah. I got you a watch. Also, I want a car.
Yeah, the watch is, I think he's probably forgotten about the watch at this point. I'm sure he has. There have been many questions
Keep
about
the
the car.
watch. Give me the ticket.
Yeah.
Wow. And then okay, so yeah, let's play through the real life scenario and winning the lottery ticket, right? There are some implications from that.
Yeah, there are.
So is that part of the raffle? Do they set it up to where, I mean, you get this car and then they also provide cash or whatever it would be to cover taxes?
A lot of raffles do that. So you'll see a lot of ones that'll be like, you'll get this plus $25,000.
Yeah.
But the thing is that all of it is based on at least for this type thing is based on income. So it doesn't actually count as like any type of sales tax thing that I can find anyway. It seems like it's all based on income. So if you win a $130,000 car, now you are responsible for the taxes on $130,000 on income.
Right.
Yep.
And whatever that means as far as like what those additional tax brackets mean, so meaning that is probably going to end up in a much higher tax bracket than you're usually used to, depending on where you're at. I played around with the numbers at different income levels, and I gotta say, I'm in a very fortunate position where I can shift some stuff around. Like, anyone want to buy a 1988 Targa? Guards red G50 car. It's delightful.
Yeah.
But by unloading this car, I free up space and I can now cover the taxes involved because the taxes are significant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Like, it's going to be in the 35% range plus that's just federal plus
Right.
plus Colorado, which is 4.4%. So
Yeah.
I'm looking at a big number that I'm going to owe.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have cash available to take care of that.
Yeah.
But I mean, net, I'm ahead. But I totally get why someone would just take the cash prize and then that way they've got the liquidity to deal with.
What is
Yeah.
the equivalent cash prize that they?
$100,000.
100,000 even. Okay.
Yeah. So like, I mean, that'd be nice.
It's a nice motor for a 912.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
But
And I bet someone would put it in.
Yeah.
I bet somebody would put it in
Yeah.
for that.
they probably
Build
would.
it and put it in.
They absolutely would. They're
Right.
very helpful. Yeah. They're very helpful. But I figure I'm still net ahead by taking the car. Plus, I'm gonna have a GT4 in the garage as well.
And so I guess I'm going to go back to your point. If you bought the tickets, if you spent $500 on it and you didn't win, at least it's going towards something that's good. This car is going towards somebody great, right? So like this car.
Let's not get ahead of it. Somebody who's kind of okay and drives too much.
It's going to go to somebody that's going to use it,
Yes.
right, and drive it. It's not going to go to somebody that puts it up on some pedestal in their garage and tells all their friends, "Look what I won!" Like, okay,
I'm
how's
already
it drive? I have no idea.
I'm already signed up to take it out
so
to
your
air water in LA.
I need your license plate to be chicken dinner.
Oh, winner, chicken dinner. That's right. I like that.
Yes. Keep Colorado wild. Chicken dinner.
I like that. We got to
right?
Yeah,
I think that's a good
I think
one.
you should apply for it now.
Yep.
Before John just gave it away.
Yep.
It's super amazing. It's fun to share the story about it. It's fun that it's super fresh, right? That this is all still happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is less than a week ago.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's fantastic. And then, I mean, you've been on the show, right, before. People already know you because we talk about you. The Smoking Tire talks about. Do they know that you won this car?
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Because I showed up to pick up my watches and
Higher than a kite and not on gasoline fumes. Yeah.
you are correct, sir.
Yeah.
No, I showed up and I was going to pick it up and I was having that internal debate of like, do I talk about this? And I'm like, I don't really like
Yeah.
these are people I run into, but they're not people that I know.
Yeah.
And so I was still kind of debating. I wanted to make sure that, get more communication with the museum, all that. But I told everybody.
Yeah.
And it wasn't so much that I told everybody there. It's that I told Matt and and his wife was there and a couple of their friends and they all heard me. And then it just kind of spread through the room. Like, you're the guy who won a car.
Yeah.
That commutes from Colorado.
So I apologize for name dropping, but during this, Spike and Zuckerman showed up as well as Johnny, and I'd run into Johnny the day before. He had the ST out,
Yeah.
which oh my god, that thing sounds amazing. Just ripping it. Oh, it sounds amazing. But anyway, I ran into Johnny. I'm like, and he's like, "Oh, hey man, good to see you again." And I'm like, "I want a car." What?
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Not just any car.
Yeah.
Too.
right.
Yeah. That's
Well,
that's
I
pretty
told
good.
him that, and he offered me. So I have number 73 of this. He has number 100, and he's like, "I'll trade you number 100 for it." I appreciate the thought.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Close. We're close.
Yeah.
So and Spike and Zuckerman both agree that I should totally keep it no matter what. So
Yeah.
it's too good a story.
Right. Yeah. That's the Zuckerman.
Yeah. That's accurate.
Yeah. That's super cool, man. Wow. Yeah. I can't imagine what that would be, but the
Yep.
experience of all that. So it's super
It's
fun.
weird. It's just weird. That's the.
Yeah. Well, we're super excited for you.
Yep.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
What we decided is Dan is going to need to hire drivers to put accurate miles on each car so none of them get jealous. Because if one starts racking up numbers faster,
Yeah.
this
Well, one of them is guaranteed to rack up numbers faster because that was the point of buying the car.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
all right.
So that's that. But this one is definitely getting the full on autocross track treatment
Cool.
because
Yeah.
PDK.
Because it costs you $500.
Right. Yeah.
So,
Well, a little more than that if you include the tax.
well, yeah.
I mean, the flip side though is even for the tax costs, that's a really healthy discount. On
Yeah.
Yes. Yes,
Yeah,
it is.
Very much so.
What a thing.
Yeah.
Anybody need to take a break and go outside for a minute to catch some air?
Holy moly.
I don't think so. If you've ever run out of gas, gone to a gas station and filled up a gas can with gas and then put it in the passenger seat of your top-up Miata, I think that's probably a similar experience to what we're experiencing in this little glass box right here.
Yeah. So I guess to describe to the viewers, listeners, we have a lot of activity going on. We got a lot of transports scheduled to show up tomorrow and Monday to pick up cars heading out. So our lot guys have been busy preparing some of these cars. One of the cars that they decided to wait towards the end of today to prepare is a 86 911 that's headed off to the East Coast. It's a gorgeous car. I mean, this is definitely one of my favorite cars that we've had here in a very long time. It's very cold outside. And anyway, took it to the gas station. I have a feeling they pumped it, right? And maybe topped it off kind of thing. Well, in turn, what that does is it kind of, anyway.
It drains to the ground.
Well,
because
eventually,
that's what emissions
there's this canister
says.
piece, that is now kind of loaded, if you will, and that's having to purge itself.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it is quite vapory right in here.
Should we take a quick commercial break?
Yeah, let's.
Should we see if this works?
Yeah, are we going to hear this, or is just the viewers going to hear this?
So, I think watchers will. I don't know if listeners will.
Okay,
'Cause
so
I don't know if this is a two-way.
I'm going to give a little bit of a spoiler alert, if you guys don't mind. So this is Garrett from our parts department, and he and our parts manager Ricky they want to help us, and they want to help promote themselves a little bit with. Everything good there?
Yeah, you're good. Keep going.
But they want to help promote some Porsche tech equipment and Porsche lifestyle things. And they're doing not giveaways, but they're doing heavy discounts. And so on this one, I happen to know, and you'll hear it, hopefully, Garrett say, but if you come into the store to get this Bluetooth speaker that he is promoting using I think it's GT320. Hopefully we'll hear it. GT320. It's 15% off on this Bluetooth speaker. And they'll throw in one of our Porsche Colorado Springs team hoodies that we have, which is, I mean, that by itself is pretty sweet, right? So anyway, let's give it a shot. And I kind of love what they're doing here.
I do too. I don't know. The YouTube people should hear this. I don't know if people listening will, and I don't know if we will. So let's hit go and see what happens.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? My name is Garrett. I'm from the Porsche
We
Colorado
definitely don't
Springs
hear it.
Parts Department. Today, we're going to be talking about some items that Porsche sells for the household instead of cars. So today, we have a 911 speaker. It's actually based off the 911 992 GT3 exhaust tip. Something very cool. It is Bluetooth compatible. Something very special, very portable, as well as it comes with a carrying case here. It is USB-C charging. It is something we offer here in-house. So whether you're just stopping by for a quick service visit, buying a new car, or just coming in to get a snack and a water and coffee, feel free to stop by and check it out in the parts department. We are doing a special on these speakers right now. If you come in with code GT320, we're going to get you 15% off and a free hoodie. If this is something that interests you, please feel free to give me a shout. My name is Garrett Turner. I'm located in the Porsche Colorado Springs Parts Department. My good desk line is 719-219-5041. My best hours to reach me are Monday through Saturday, 7 to 5:30. If you have any questions, please feel free to give me a shout. Have a great day.
I don't know. Do you think the people on YouTube can hear it too?
Kind of creepy.
Okay.
And we're back.
Well, Garrett, you did a wonderful job. I'm sorry that we didn't. Oh my goodness. So
man.
2 notes. Wonderful job, Garrett.
Yeah.
I love the lighting. I think you guys did a good job with that. I think
Yeah.
we can improve the studio shots with some of the lights you used.
Yeah.
It sounded awesome when I heard it before. I don't
Right.
know what it sounded like this time. But
Yeah.
yeah. And I think proof of concept is there.
Totally.
That was great.
And I mean, I think it looks like Garrett has prepped for this.
Oh, he did,
a
for sure.
week,
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah, very professional.
I mean, to me, I thought like, did you just make this up? Right? I'm like, this. You're awesome, right? That is awesome. I mean, to me, because it's like, hey, can we do this? Like, what? It's
Do you know what-
5:30.
let me tell you what I did to prep for this week's episode. I sent Dan a message and asked him if he was booked on Friday. I ordered Chinese food and I rushed to set up the camera and the box. That's all I did.
It all worked.
Garrett did way more than I did.
He did more.
Getting ready for that.
Yeah.
So thank you guys for getting involved.
Absolutely.
I think that's awesome.
Yeah,
And
no, I love it. And so Ricky wanted to just kind of have these promotions here on the show, and then to attract some people to listen and watch the show, and to obviously get some people into the parts department for that. And I figure he's going to sell way more of those if we throw it out there on Instagram.
Yep, that was a good idea.
It will be on the Porsche Colorado Instagram page. It might even be up now. I don't know. It will be up soon.
If we watched it there, I bet we'd hear it.
Maybe. Which actually, that's something that we're trying to plan for as well, is that we'd like to have this on Instagram as well. So we've got some things in
We need
motion.
some more lapel mics.
Yes. Those are working really good.
Sounded good?
I mean, it's what Garrett used.
That's what I'm saying. We heard that loud and clear.
That would also be excellent for your showroom walkarounds.
Exactly.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. No, those are going to be fantastic. So hopefully as early as next week, we can be streaming this live on Insta.
Well, goodbye my YouTube page. It's been working.
It's been working
I've been
really
picking
well.
up people.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So we're still trying to get John to 500 subscribers.
Yep. I think I need 35 more.
Oh, we're getting there.
Maybe 45 more.
Yeah.
Close.
I mean, come on.
Somewhere.
Come on, people.
Then we make the money.
You make the money.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's amazing, John. So I used to give John the hardest time about videos on YouTube. So all the salespeople here have their own YouTube page, even me. But I haven't done a video in quite a while. And so anyway, subscribers, and you kind of watch that stuff. And I noticed there was a couple people kind of running away with subscribers. And then, John, how come you have no subscribers on your YouTube page? I think you were sitting at something like
35.
Yeah, it was it wasn't a lot, right? Whereas then a couple other salespeople had 300.
Yep.
You know, it's like, dude, what's the problem? And then I realized you're not putting everything on YouTube. Well, no, we'll do that. Make
No,
everyone.
I put everything on YouTube, but I made them unlisted videos.
Right.
So when I sent someone a link, if there was a watch on it, I would know that they watched it. And so I could sort through my videos. And if there was a video that had no views, I knew the person didn't get it or they didn't care. And so you could try sending it another way.
Sure.
And then I gave up on that because who cares about selling cars? We're here to get YouTube likes.
YouTube. So John, finally started making everything public. And then that started to help, because more viewers, right, more subscribers, and then things get passed around. I mean, I don't know if you ever noticed this, but on Instagram, when something like a car, that we have gets displayed over here, when you go through the comments, you see people tag, at Dan, right?
Yeah.
Because it's get their attention, check out this car, you should know about this, right? It's the referral side. So your videos are being passed around as well. Hey, I think you should check this out. Well, certainly First Dibs podcast on your page has definitely helped grow that, not only the viewership, but the subscribers.
Yep.
So now John is ahead.
Winner, winner.
Winner. Yeah, and still growing. Yeah. Mhm.
Maybe that'd be good. WNR.
Unfortunately, I have this thing where I seem to only get Air Force plates.
Air Force would work. You can still do chicken dinner.
You can't though. You can't do.
You can't customize your Air
can't
Force
customize
plates.
Air Force plates, and
Really?
they've already saved me from a ticket or two. So I keep throwing them on cars.
Right.
Okay.
Do you get them for free?
No,
Oh,
$50.
those are the disabled veterans.
Yeah, those are. Yeah,
Yeah. Which, hey, disabled vet, you deserve that.
absolutely,
You should not have to pay the astronomical Colorado registration fees, right?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I got to make up for it with a veteran tag on my license, so that way I can get the discounts at Home Depot and Lowe's.
Yeah. Yeah. No, absolutely. You deserve it. Every bit.
I don't think I got enough oxygen on our break. I don't mean to keep bringing this up, but something is zapping me.
Yeah.
Should we go open a door?
It'll get real cold.
It's going to get very
That's
cold.
okay. All right. Well,
You can, if you want to try it, go
all
for
right.
it.
I'll stay high. That's fine.
Drink lots of water. What else do we have going on? We still have like 20
Well,
minutes left.
so that's what I'm saying. Dan also went for a cannonball record.
Oh.
Winter cannonball, winter reverse cannonball, winter reverse half cannonball.
Okay.
He bombed it back.
Yeah. What was your, I saw it,
You
average
don't
speed?
say it out loud, but it's about the speed that the DeLorean has to go to travel through time. And he averaged it over 14 hours, including stopping for gas. And this is uphill. This is going from sea level to 6,000 feet and back down.
Right, yeah.
So probably higher than that.
It's
Probably have
impressive.
to go a little higher than 6,000 feet
yeah,
to get
there's a
back
few
here.
spots where you go a little higher.
So
That's impressive.
that's
pretty good.
impressive. I don't know if anybody else has ever tried to like do distance at speed. It's tough.
It is hard.
To average the speed limit is serious
very
for a long road trip.
Yeah.
You know, because you're stopping, especially with anybody else in the car with you, you're stopping for gas, you got to get chips, then McDonald's, there's a line, and then you know, like all of that stuff. And then what could be a 10-minute stop is 18 minutes. And then now you've gone 60 miles in an hour and 18 minutes, not
Right.
60 miles in an hour,
Yeah.
and your speed has dropped substantially.
Yeah, absolutely.
So to hit things that are time travel speeds,
Yeah.
that's boogieing.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I was really just going with the flow.
Keeping
of
up with the flow of traffic.
Yeah,
Please.
you know, the flow of traffic was there. I needed to do it. I was just, you know, I was
Right.
trying not to be a safety hazard to those around me.
Well, if you're already in the left lane, you need to be passing people. That's the rule.
Yeah.
It is.
And if they're doing the speed limit,
Yeah.
And I
No,
mean, I
get
got-
it.
step it up.
I got passed, you know.
Yeah.
You know, it was.
Yeah, you're
it was
very
fun.
responsible. I've
Absolutely.
driven with you.
I got out of the way. You know, I smoothly signaled the lane changes, all that. Generally, my stops are generally around 10 minutes tops.
Yeah.
It's, you know, stop, get gas. I don't actually snack that much. I try not to. But yeah, this return trip was about 1,231 miles.
Wow.
And the big thing that was pushing me, though, was just because the weather was rolling in.
Yeah.
I knew I needed to skip the mountains, and I am very glad I skipped the mountains because Sunday was a disaster.
Yeah. You were rushing back to the 13 degree below zero weather.
I was rushing back to avoid the snow.
Yeah.
It was bone dry the entire trip for me. So that was the big thing. And it didn't start really getting cold until I got north of Las Vegas, New Mexico. The rest of it was generally in the 40 to 60 range the entire way. So it was like comfortable and you know, comfortable, clear, dry. And yeah, so I actually the next morning when I got up and looked outside, I'm like, yeah, I'm really glad I got this done.
No
'Cause
doubt.
I did debate on, you know, stay in Santa Fe or something like that, but it's like, it's early enough. I can still make it just fine. So I just stuck with it.
Yeah.
We were doing a little talking about because Dan's fleet is now getting to be full. Where should he keep the GT4? And you know, we thought, you know, maybe because he's out in California for work so much, you know, you just park it at work or find a storage place or something like that, so you can just, you know, fly in and out, and then you don't have to drive. And what we realized is it only saves him like 6 hours if he was to fly in versus him driving. Between when you have to wake up to get to the airport, then to get on the plane and fly, and then to land and get your luggage.
Well, 6 hours each way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
so it's it's a grand total of about 12 hours, but like putting it out there,
Yeah.
it would make a difference if I was storing the car in like the Bay Area, because that's a much more heavy duty lift.
Yeah, right.
Whereas my normal trip is in the 1,000-mile range, and in a day, not terrible. Like we can do that pretty easily, you know, zip through.
yeah, so
or-
that's kind of it. It's like it's a day either way, right? You have a day in your home,
Yeah.
or you've got a day and you got to drive and have some fun. So
Right.
not too different. And that kind of shrunk the country for me.
Yeah, right.
Because I think of California as being a 2-day trip.
Right.
But if you can do it in 14,
which is that's not a stretch. That's not at all a stretch.
Yeah.
It's like an easy speed limit. Maybe a little,
Dan's speed limit.
maybe a little more.
That's just Air Force plates speed limit.
I'll just say this. If you're driving for 10 hours and you're going 5 miles above the speed limit, we'll say, then that means at the end of your 10 hours, you're 50 miles ahead of where you are.
Sure.
If you're going 10 over the speed limit, that's 100 miles ahead of
Yep.
where you are. So, you know, which shrinks
20. Now we're talking.
now,
Yeah.
Right.
And that's the time travel. Exactly.
Did you happen to pay attention to fuel mileage?
that was a weird thing. Like the Macan was acting a little bit weird when I got down to sea level. And
Okay.
as best I can figure, because when I got back up to altitude, it was fine. And I mean, never mind the canyon carving. We saw a very low number there
Sure, yeah.
because I was on it. And just high revs,
Yeah.
just turbos spinning all the time.
Yeah.
But I don't think the car properly adjusted by going down to sea level because it was running a little bit weird and everything. And as soon as I brought it back up to altitude, it was great.
That's interesting.
So I don't know what was up with that. I'm probably not gonna think too hard on it. Like it was fine.
Yeah.
It probably, if I'd given it another couple days or let it sit for a day and then started it up.
Yeah, it got there too quickly. It
Yeah.
was like, whoa.
Yeah. It had the reverse bends.
Well, it's like when anyone flies out here, you come
Yeah.
up to this altitude. I don't know.
Yeah.
I was just walking
Yeah.
through a parking lot.
Yeah. Yep.
I went up
Yeah.
some stairs.
Right. Yeah, that's pretty interesting. Huh. But I guess out of curiosity on the way back, was it something like 8 miles, 12 miles a gallon, approximately?
I think I ended up closer to 17 and a half for the
Wow.
total.
Okay.
But it was noticeable, like once I got back up to altitude, like it was doing 19s.
Wow.
So
That's super impressive. I mean, yeah, like you say, at the rate, that you're doing it back and forth.
Yep.
it was terrible on the way out though, because it was windy.
Oh, sure.
And like there at some points I had checked the weather in certain spots and like they were talking about gusts of wind, and a lot of times it was actually headwinds. So I'm getting like these 40 to 50 mile an hour headwinds at various
Man.
points. And it's
Wow.
like, I did not get good mileage.
Wow. Yeah, that's still impressive for the round trip. Holy moly. That's
Yeah,
fantastic.
it worked out pretty well. I mean, like not the cheapest thing ever, but thankfully gas is quite a bit cheaper than it had been
Yeah, right.
last year.
Yeah. Someone pointed that out as far as, it's my buddy Josh from Wyoming. He said coming down here, it feels like gas is free compared to Cheyenne, Wyoming. He said, this is crazy. He said, I'm pulling into gas stations. They have fuel advertised at, $2.45 for regular fuel.
Really?
Yeah. He said, it's not below $3.
Wow.
Cheyenne for just regular, for
Yeah.
cheap gas.
Yeah, I topped that off today for 287,
Wow. That's great.
and that's 91.
F this
Yeah.
economy. This is awful. I can't believe it. Horrible policies. How'd I do?
Pretty good.
Is that pretty close?
good. Yeah.
That was excellent.
Thanks. Yeah. I did that. Do you remember those stickers?
So yes, they're still there, and actually, right at the Shell gas station that our guys use to fill up cars, which I actually really like Shell gasoline. I think it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
That's what F1 cars drive on.
is it?
Yeah.
That's pretty interesting.
Yeah, at least
well,
they used to.
so they still have those. I did that stickers, and I noticed one not on the gas pump, but it was on the pole for the handicap sign. So there's a handicap sticker and a Biden sticker. It says, "I did that." I just thought,
Yeah. Perfect.
Really?
Yeah. Obamacare.
oh man,
Yeah, that's not as political as we get, but when I'm hopped up on gasoline, it's probably as far as we should go.
maybe, yeah.
Just
Yeah.
pretend you're washing parts.
Yeah,
right.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yep.
So what's your next steps, Dan? So you plan on taking delivery of the GT4 in mid-February. What happens between? I mean, you have a month essentially. Just about. What
Oh
do you
yeah,
do
it's not
between now?
agony or anything like that.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Is there anything that you do need to do before you get there?
No.
My God.
Just show up with your license
Right.
and they hand you a car.
I already pretty much. I already gave them the various information. There's one more affidavit thing that I need to sign as part of the contest. But that's like the last piece of paperwork for that. I assume there will be paperwork, title, all that when I get there.
Sure.
But yeah, I'm just at this point. It's just kind of the waiting game before I go out, and then when he and I go out and check the car out, I'm obviously, if it's any kind of okay out, I'm obviously going to take it out for a little drive.
Yep.
Hopefully it's not too bad because it's still on Cup 2s.
Jeez. Okay.
Yeah, or wrong time of year.
right.
And to that end, I had many people go, "So you're driving it back? I'll help you drive it back. Fly out with you. When are you going out? I'll buy tickets. I'll bring the radar detector.
right.
It'll be great." And it's like, I'm not driving this thing back on Cup 2s.
Yeah.
Which gives me the other option of like, oh, while it's there, I can go ahead and buy snow tires for it. Do I want to do that? Not particularly.
Sure.
So, we'll see about that. I think at this point, I'm probably going to end up having it shipped back here, bring it through here, get, just have it all verified, oil change, alignment.
Yep.
Order the Manthe Racing stuff.
Ooh.
Yeah, we'll go whole hog.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I already
Let's
gave.
see how much Dan can spend before the end of the year.
Damn it! I won. I
only
won this car.
January.
It only cost me $200,000. Where did I go wrong? I thought I won this thing.
Well, I already gave Jason a heads up on the alignment and stuff. So, but yeah, once it's back and everything, then all of a sudden it goes in the rotation. And like I was saying earlier, I'm already signed up for Air and Water in LA and Costa Mesa
Nice.
at the end of April. So I'm,
Do you think we could put a trailer hitch on the Spider so he could tow the GT4?
Anything's possible.
Yeah.
I don't know that you want to do that, but yeah.
I don't. Dan might.
I'm good.
All right. Does the Macan have a hitch?
Yeah. It doesn't have the towing capacity though.
Yeah, it's
Can't
only
haul.
4,400.
It's 4,400, and you'd be
1,000-pound trailer.
pushing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got ceramic brakes. That's the big problem.
right. Yeah. Makana hitches are small
Yeah.
duty. Like put 2 or 3 electric bikes back there.
Yeah.
Call it a day. Maybe a motorcycle. You could put a motorcycle back.
Yeah, totally motorcycle trailer and
Yeah. A ski-doo.
skidoo.
That's
Yeah. Money can't buy you happiness, but it can buy you a jet ski.
And that's basically the same thing.
Yes, that's the truth. And the new air water thing, they're doing that down by San Diego.
Costa Mesa. So it's more like Long Beach area.
Okay.
That's actually where the auto kennel is. So I've been there.
Surprise.
Auto Kennel is a great thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
they've been around a long time. Those guys do a good job. I think is Paul. Is that one of
Paul. Yeah.
them? And it's 100% consignment if I remember right. And they're kind of choosy about the cars that they will take in. But
Yeah. It's all nice stuff. And he's got a lovely 3.2 backdate called the Turtle. And I think he's got 325,000 miles on that thing.
Awesome.
And he takes it out to rallies. And so he and his dad go out and run all kinds of air-cooled rallies all year and with a bunch of off-road stuff. And
Right.
so like the front of that thing is demolished. Like it's just nothing but rock chips. He ended up he installed grates over the headlight lenses because he took a rock to one at last year, and so he's got the grates on there to try and protect them. But yeah, it's great. He's a super nice guy. Has a bunch of cool cars. I think he had his he's got a 996 GT3 that he took up to Good Vibes this morning.
Cool. They always do great write-ups of cars.
Yes.
When you look up the descriptions of their cars on their website.
I'll check them out.
I would really like to be able. I wish I had that much time to kind of emulate, what they do. Yeah, no, they just do a great job. And I mean, I'll give them credit. We're similar, as in when we price a car out there, we price it to sell it. Right? We don't price it really to negotiate in it, and we price it to sell it out there. And that's exactly what they do. I mean, they're very realistic. I've actually tried to buy a car from them a number of years ago, and going in with the idea, I'll try and get a deal, because I'm a dealer, make it quick, kind of a wholesale thing. No, I mean, this is the price of the car, for anybody. So I really respected that. I just thought, no, he's not kidding. I mean, that's what the car should sell for.
Yeah, he also puts up a lot of nice videos of like the dry ice blasting and all that stuff. It's fun, but yeah, it's all part of it's one of the fun bits of like just the community out there because he's plugged in with a ton of people and everyone's just super nice and warm and welcoming, and it's a good time.
Yeah,
part of the reason I keep going back.
Right. Yeah. Oh, very cool. What else is going on? Anything in the future after the GT4 that's already pre-planned?
Other than selling an 88 Targa. That's about the extent of it. I'm doing some refresh work on my 912 right now. It's actually part of my plan, possibly tomorrow, since it's going to be warm enough, I can actually pull the Spider out and bring the lift down a bit and try and get my jack working on the lift to bring up the front end of the 912 so I can finish all the rubber suspension bits down there. Other than that, no real plans. Other than the GT4 has kind of fired me up a little bit more for track and autocross for the year. The only problem I have is I have a very busy travel year already scheduled. There's multiple trips out to California lined up, and between comedy concerts and work-related stuff and just general shenanigans.
So. Yeah. I don't remember. Do you do Car Week?
I'm signed up. I'm scheduled for Car Week this year too.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And then I heard our buddies steering committee. They're going to Amelia Island.
Yep.
Which that's in February, March.
I believe it's the end of this month.
February.
End of this month, like first day in March or something like that.
We're still in January. We go live when we go live. We're recording this for now, not for February 3rd.
I'm gonna blame the gasoline.
Totally. That's okay.
It's something.
Yeah.
It's real.
Some of it is my problem is I still keep thinking about these timelines on these things, and it's like I'm already mentally in New York picking up a car.
Yeah, right. Yep. Yeah, absolutely. And then you're going back, John, to Car Week this year, right?
That's the plan.
That's the plan.
Yep.
Well, that'll be cool. I mean, that's going to be some good shows to talk about. How did the whole Colorado Shift magazine, the print version, how did the handoff of that go?
That went well.
Yeah.
I had to remind Matt about it. He's like, dude, Car Week was a threat. You're going to have to give me a little more. And I was like, I apologize.
Yeah.
Fire Pits, Friday night at Spanish Bay. He's like, okay. And I was like, you heard a 10-year-old tell you about how he snuck into.
Yeah, right.
And he's like, oh, God, yeah. And I was like, you apparently told him if he wrote about it, you would work on hooking him up with passes for that. And he's like, okay. And then I gave him the magazine.
How much did I drink?
And then he's looking at it and he's like, holy shit, this is cool. So he was actually really excited to take the magazine and stuff. So.
And then does anybody have an idea? How soon can we order those on Amazon?
I think they did another prototype, which Brendan thought was even nicer than the one we saw, which was great.
Yeah, the one we saw was awesome.
So I would think probably within a month.
Wow.
So
that's cool.
Final edits, like page numbers had to be readjusted because they added a page and it didn't update through. And Lamborghini was spelled without a G in Lewis's article.
Oh, nice.
Once, but yeah, a couple little tweaks and send it.
Yeah,
nice.
Absolutely.
we're trying to figure out what Lewis should write about next. And I think we talked about this last week a little bit, but I want him to do an article about the Prowler.
Oh yeah.
And we're going to take it to all of the places Prowlers go.
So I got the article. I was sent the article. Randy sent me the article in Haggerty about the Prowler being the bull market.
Bull market. Yep.
Yeah.
I think it's
Bull
going
market
up.
car. Call me crazy. I thought it was kind of fun and interesting when I was proposed with getting a Prowler.
Yeah.
And so we got it here, and I'm thinking, oh man, right? I did this? Yeah, it's fun and interesting, but did I do something totally stupid? And I figure like, nah, I mean, it's cool. Put it with the Viper, pair them together. And then I've got multiple people saying like, no, man, this is like Haggerty says this is the year to have one, right? So I'm reading it. The Gen Xers are in love with the car, and it's affordable.
Yep.
My peoples.
So what I want to do is I want to make it look like Lewis is actually driving it.
Okay.
Like we were looking through that Haggerty magazine. There was a picture of a journalist in an Austin Healey, and he was driving it, and it was a picture of him where you could see the road and you could see his face in the rearview mirror, and it just looked great. So I want to stage that with Lewis in the Prowler.
Nice.
Like the same, fake that shot.
Yeah, yeah.
And
We'll do one of those shots where it looks like he's doing 80 miles an hour.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like hoodie down, hair blowing back and everything like that. Put a fan on him, make it look real. And I think I want to take him to all the places a 10-year-old shouldn't be, but make it look like he belongs there. So like,
What's the great shot that Paul has? It's a bar downtown. It's like Shame and Regret.
Shame and Regret. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, a bar, possibly a show club. And I'm not going to do anything like send him inside, but I would like to do that, and like maybe coming out of a smoke shop, like either Maggie's farm or like a cigar store.
Right, yeah,
with,
that's pretty funny.
and then like the focus on the family center.
Okay.
So I don't know. Maybe this is too many spoiler alerts, but that's
Big ideas.
That's the overall plan. So I'm going to borrow. If it's nice enough, I might borrow the Prowler tomorrow. And
It's actually supposed to be really nice this
yeah,
weekend.
Yeah, it is.
So I won't actually let him drive it, just so you know.
I don't know if you'll fit in it. Have you sat in the
No,
car?
I have not.
You may not be able to get in the door.
It's a convertible.
Well, with the top down, you
Dukes
can
of
get in.
Hazzard it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with the top up, I don't know that you can get in it.
Yeah. All right.
It's such a cool car, though.
Yep.
It's really, it's so quirky, but they did a great job on it.
What I love, and I think we talked about this last week, is just that a company like Chrysler did that.
Right.
Yes.
Because right now they're dying
Yeah.
as a brand.
Yeah.
Like I can't.
Well, like Doug and Ryan were talking on this last show, was the big three is not. It's not the big three.
No,
that it has been.
it's the big two in Tesla.
yeah,
they
right,
had
exactly.
it. They had it right.
So, but no, it's a great article. I think the Prowler is a super cool car. It's very unique, and it's just something that I think they nailed it. I think they nailed it with it.
Who thought that would be better today than it was when it came out?
Right?
And name another car that came out in, what was that, 99?
Yeah.
That looks that much better now. Like I think the Prowler has aged better than the 996, and I love a 996.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A 99 Mustang. No. That's not any cooler.
No.
I feel like the thing that they nailed it with that concept of retro. It's the retro. It's almost like
Yeah.
a retro futurism type thing. And for whatever reason, they hit that perfect balance of making it work.
Right.
For
Yeah.
As long as because it looked great when it came out. Too.
Yeah. Yeah. Because what are some of the did it come after? But the PT Cruiser, the HHR, the SSR.
It's before all of those.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
It's almost I just off the top of my head, I wonder if that's what caused people got this crazy. They developed this crazy demand for this car that was like, oh well, we'll make all the things retro. For
I
it.
think so. I think because that was a success, they were able to do other things that were classic.
And
yeah.
they sold 1 million PT Cruisers.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Because that article talks about how they realized how impactful a debut can be with the Viper. Right. When the Viper debuted out, it's
Yep.
The world is shocked kind of thing. Like, oh my gosh, what is this amazing thing? And so
Buy my minivan.
So let's see if we can shock them again with something super crazy. And the guy that designed it was restoring a 33 Ford. So, which was, I mean, personally, you know, at home kind of thing. So they mentioned the grill, you know, I mean, like that's, they just got all the lines and everything right on it. So, it's cool, man. And when it was sitting out here getting ready for detail, just the stance of it, giant rear wheels and those little tiny front. I mean, it's cool. It's funky, and it's not $100,000. It's a car that regular people can buy.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, we made it.
Oof.
No one fall asleep in here because you will die.
Yeah. I'm definitely getting a
light
headache
up,
now.
light up a smoke. Let's see if we can blow this building up. I think the air to fuel ratio right now is about right. If we compress the, I bet if you clapped, you could create a diesel explosion inside your hands.
And we're sitting around all of this heavy electronics.
Yeah. Well,
Do you have a song picked
I
out?
do, but hold on, I gotta back up to it. Remember, we already had it. We all had it. We knew what we were doing.
We knew what we were doing, and then you went past.
Well, I know, and then nobody can hear this yet, so it's okay. Is it before this or after this?
It's like the second verse. So,
Yeah.
all right, is that it?
I don't know.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yes.
All right, are we gonna head out?
Yep. Let's do it.
Okay. So for the First Dibs podcast, I am Justin.
I'm John.
And I'm Dan.
Thank you so much for Dan for coming down
And thanks for winning a new
congratulations
car.
again. Absolutely.
That's pretty awesome.
All right, everybody. Have a good night.
See ya.
and didn't even write. And your husband wants to be a girl. Be glad there's one place in the world where everybody knows your name. And they're always glad you came. You wanna go where people know people are all the same. You wanna go where everybody knows your